My fellow bassists, welcome back. Alright, let's face it, gear is very expensive and we all hear lots of strong and often conflicting opinions on what gear will actually improve your tone. Some people say it's all about the amp, other people say it's all about the instrument, and then some people think that every single part of your signal chain is really important, even down to the cable that you use. Lucky for you, I've tried all of these different things and I'm gonna save you loads of money and effort by just telling you exactly which ones work and which ones don't. We're gonna go through 11 common tone fixes and I'm gonna put them in a tier list so that you can easily see exactly where you should be spending your time and money. Some of these are gonna be quite surprising, so get ready.
That's what she said.
Some people swear that the wood you use for the neck, the fretboard, and the bass body all play a crucial role in the sound of the instrument, but pickups work by creating a magnetic field which gets disturbed by the string's vibrations, and this causes a small alternating current which gets sent to your amp. This means that on a solid body bass like this one and most basses, the wood only affects the tone indirectly by affecting the way that the string vibrates. This is also why pure nylon strings don't work with regular pickups. They don't affect the magnetic field in any way. So while it's true that some woods do provide a little bit more sustain, which subtly affects the tone, overall, it's much less of an effect than something like the pickups, the strings, or the electronics. So I'm gonna put tone woods in C tier. I've seen comments where some people will say that your bass makes no difference, it's all about the amp. I completely disagree with this, and I think that I managed to prove this wrong when I made this video where I'm playing many different basses all through the exact same amp with the same exact amp settings, and you can hear how different they sound. Your bass absolutely matters for your tone. Everything from the pickups to the electronics to the scale length and the setup, all of these things have a big effect on your tone. My personal favorite is, of course, my Schecter CB4, but all that matters is that you like the way it sounds and the way it feels to play. It also heavily affects the way that you play, so I'm gonna put new bass in S tier. All right, next we have another slightly controversial and hotly debated one, upgrading your cable. Some people believe that a really high quality cable preserves the sound of your bass more effectively and also shields against unwanted electrical interference. You can get some pretty outrageously priced cables online, even going up as high as $300, and often plated in precious metals like gold or silver. I've tested the full spectrum of instrument cables, and what I've found might surprise you. Going from a $5 cable to a $25 cable does make quite a big difference. $5 cables have terrible shielding, so you're probably going to get an electrical buzz, which is really annoying, and you're definitely not going to be able to use this in any kind of professional setting. They also break way more easily, so in the long run, you're probably just going to end up paying the same total amount anyway. On the other hand, cables in the $25 to $40-ish range have much better shielding and they break much less easily. But then once you start getting above about $40, to my ear, there's absolutely no difference in sound. My friend Burnt actually made a video where he tested 3 different cables plus the Swift Audio wireless system, and as you can hear, there's just no difference in sound quality. So, long story short, don't buy a $5 cable, but also don't bother with the really high-end ones. Upgrading your cable gets a C tier from me. All right, next up is putting on new strings. I think most of you probably know the answer to this one. Changing your strings does have a big impact on your tone. New strings are much brighter and capture the full range of frequencies, while old strings are generally dark and muffled sounding. But some people actually really like the sound of dead strings. They can sound a little bit more retro. And overall, I would say that your strings don't have quite as much of an effect on your sound as the bass itself or the amp. Having said that, if you're playing slappy tappy solo stuff like me, then new strings are very important, so I'm going to put this one in A tier. Next up, we have upgrading your audio interface. In my experience, audio interfaces are a little bit like cables. The really cheap ones are generally not great. They're very noisy and they lack pretty important features like phantom power and a good preamp. But the kind of lower mid-tier options like the Focusrite Scarlett 2i2 already sound very clear and accurate. So if that's all that you're looking for, I don't think there's too much need to upgrade past around the 400, 500 mark. Once you start getting into the higher priced interfaces, then it all seems to be about the character that it gives your sound. Unlike cables, a high-end interface can actually affect your tone slightly, but for me, the price tag doesn't really justify it. I'm going to put audio interface in kind of a low B tier because it's definitely more important than your cable, but I don't think it should be a top priority for you unless you have a really cheap, noisy one right now. All right, next we have upgrading your pickups. I won't spend too long on this one because I think we all know your pickups have a very big effect on your sound. Low quality pickups don't capture the full frequency spectrum of your bass, and they're usually noisy and very susceptible to electrical interference. I personally love EMG pickups. They're bright, but they still capture all of that powerful low end that's so important for bass. So anyway, pickups are in S tier for me. All right, next we have another pretty hotly debated one, and it's basically just using real amps and effects rather than amp modelers and plugins. This is a debate that will probably continue for the rest of eternity. Some people absolutely swear by physical amps and say that there's a huge difference in tone, while other people say that there's really no difference in tone and software is much more convenient and affordable. 15 years ago, I think I would have been more in the first camp, and now I think I'm more in the second camp. Software has got so good that to me, there's only a tiny difference between an amp modeler and the real thing. I can definitely see why in a live setting you might want to use a real amp so that you get that stage volume and you get the exact speaker cabinet that you like the sound of. But for me, in a recording situation, I much prefer using software because it gives me the option of changing the amp settings and the settings of the effects that I used after recording. That control is much more valuable to me than what I think is a very small difference in tone, and so I'm going to put hardware instead of software in C tier. All right, the next one's a little bit more niche, but any of you who have maybe a few years of recording experience have probably come across someone who really likes to use 48 kilohertz sample rate or even 96 kilohertz sample rate instead of 44.1, which is the standard. The only logical reason I've seen to do this is that if you're making music that will end up in a video or film, then technically 48 kilohertz is the standard audio sample rate for video. But I've worked with a few people who asked me to record in higher sample rates because they thought that the sound quality is just better overall. The thing is, to my ear, there's just absolutely no difference in sound quality. 44.1 kilohertz already represents 44,000 samples of audio per second. And I just don't think that anyone can truly hear those extra 4,000 samples that gets it up to 48 kilohertz. Maybe I'm wrong. Me, personally, I can't hear any difference. So I'm putting high sample rates in D tier because to me it makes no difference in sound quality, and I've been using 44.1 kilohertz for all of my videos over the last 15 years. And it sounds pretty great to me. Next, we have upgrading your amp or amp modeler. This should be quite a simple one. I think most of us can agree that your amp plays a huge role in your tone. A brand like Ampeg is usually incredible for rock bass lines, but maybe not really so ideal for solo bass playing and fast slap and tap. And then something like the Laney Digbeth really sits in that sweet spot of vintage character but modern clarity. But I have to say, I think your bass is even more important because it's right at the start of your signal chain, and if you have a really great bass, then all you really need from your amp is just an accurate reproduction of that sound plus a bit more power. So I'm going to put amps in a high A tier. All right, just a few more. The next one is compression. This is probably one of the most misunderstood effects ever because it's quite subtle and it uses weird terminology like ratio and threshold and knee. If you have no clue how to use compression or what any of those words meant, I do have a crash course in compression on Patreon, but for the purposes of this video, I'm just gonna say that compression is very important and underrated. In particular, I never slap without compression because it's so important for evening out the dynamics and making it actually pleasant to listen to. It also really helps you to be heard in a mix, and it just makes everything sound much more professional. I think every bassist should have a compressor either on the amp or on their pedal board, but it's not as important for your tone as the amp itself, so I'm going to put it in a solid B tier. All right, and the last tone fix is improving your technique. In a recent video, I pushed back on the idea that tone is all in your fingers, and I do stand by that, but I also admit that your fingers and your technique do have a massive impact on your tone. Where you place your plucking hand, how hard you pluck, how close you are to the frets, how well you mute, and the articulation that you're using, these all have a huge impact on your sound. Your fingers are also the very first point of your signal chain, and so if you have terrible technique, it's going to be basically impossible to get a good tone. And so technique is getting a solid S tier from me, probably the single most important aspect of your tone, but please don't overlook all of these other things, in especially the higher tiers on this list. All right, that's everything. I hope this video helps you get the best possible tone at the lowest possible price. If you want more of an in-depth look into how compression works and how I sculpt my tone, you can find all of that in the recording collection on Patreon. Just slap the link below if you want to dive into that. Thanks so much for watching, have fun practicing, and I'll see you in the next lesson.